All right, Grots and Gits, here we are. We're ready to freaking rock and roll. I cannot explain to you how dang excited I am that we finally have it. We have the data slate, we have the Munitorum Field Manual. It is time to freaking rock and roll. If you guys are in the Discord, I'm actually just posting the link to the Discord right now because we got something to talk about. Let me just go ahead and get this thing rock and rolling right here. At everyone. All right. Welcome, Grots and Gits. Let's get into the WA, baby. We have the data slate. Here we go. I'm just going to start with the data slate changes first. I have not read these, but I'm so freaking excited to take a first look and go through it with all of you guys. If you have any thoughts or questions, type them into the chat while we go through it. I will be going live again. Well, maybe not live. I'll do like a pre-recorded video for my second round where I'm actually going through after I've had time to absorb everything. But let's just take a quick look together now. I see Toda Face. Ian's in the chat. Ian, how you feeling, baby? What are our thoughts? All right, man. All right, so core rules. Devastating wounds. Weapons known with devastating wounds in their profile are known as devastating wounds weapons. Each time an attack is made with such a weapon, if that attack scores a critical wound, no saving throw of any kind can be made. Such attacks are only allocated to models after all other attacks have been. All right, so that is exactly the same. No change yet. Let's see. Modifying a stratagem's CP cost. Rules that modify CP, rules that modify CP, but that do not specify the name, can only be used to affect battle tactic stratagems. This does not apply to Air Cast Colossus, Striding Colossus, or Towering Wraith Construct abilities. Okay. Looks like all the same so far. Only on battle tactics. Okay, Fire Overwatch. All this seems to be the same. Insane Bravery. You automatically task. You cannot use a stratagem more than once per battle. All the same still. Visibility. Still the same. All right, let's look at faction rules. It's looking to me like faction rules are basically the only main big issues. All right. Faction rules for the Adepta Sororitas. And guys, by the way, we do also have points changes. Then we'll run through some of the points changes as well. So we're looking at the Triumph of St. Catherine, Relics of the Matriarch Simulacrum of the Advent Chalice. Change to while a friendly Adepta Sororitas unit is within 6 inches, the unit can perform up to 2 acts of faith instead of only one. Okay? Custodes. This is what I'm really excited for, everyone. We are... Hey, so Gatornade, he says, I don't see the data slate in the Warhammer community. So these are shared now. They're up. Basically what happens is Games Workshop tends to release these at a different time based off of the country. So some countries will get it a few minutes earlier than others. And I'm just, a little quick to the trigger here. So I'm just sharing it right now. I'll put a little link down in the chat. Here, let me just... Yeah, I'll put a link down to the chat for you guys in a little bit. So, the Aegis of the Emperor's Detachment role. Adeptus Custodes, models from your army have the Feel No Pain 4-up ability against mortar wounds. And, ladies and gentlemen, critical wounds caused by attacks with the Devastating Wounds ability. Custodes are freaking back! Let's rock and roll. Custodes officially have the ability to play the game again. This is awesome. Okay. We are ready to rock and roll with Custodes. Hopefully we're going to see some points changes as well. But for right now, I can already tell you I am pretty pumped up. Let's look at the Aldari. Strands of Fate faction rule. Oh, so Eldar only are from now on getting 6d6 for their Strands of Fate. No longer getting 12. That is a massive change. I'm not sure how impactful that is, seeing as their Farseers can flip it. But there's also a lot of points coming up. Change Fate's Messenger enhancement. Only once per turn, just after making a hit roll, a wound roll, or saving throw for the bearer. Okay, this is a massive change right here. So previously, they were giving Fate's Messenger to the Spirit Seer, and that Spirit Seer would take that anything and turn it into a 6, so the Wraithguard would automatically hit a devastating wound. So now it only applies to the bearer, which means it's essentially useless for your Wraithguard bricks, which actually is a pretty significant change to the Wraithguard. Phantasm. One Eldar infantry unit is only moving d6 inches with it. Wow! Only d6 inches. Okay. That is a world of a difference. No longer you're going to have those guys popping out 7 inches wherever they want. That is crazy. Yeah, Andreas, this is official. It'll be posted in certain different places. This is, if you're looking at my address right now, it is www.warhammercommunity.com. Let me see if I can switch here. Let me show you the address. WarhammerCommunity.com/WP content uploads. Yeah, Ian, if you're in the chat, would you mind just popping a link to this? If you would just pop that into the link right there for other people, then that'll be maybe make it a little bit helpful for people. Or Adam or any of you guys who are from the Discord, if you can just pop a link down to this. I know it's been shared. Okay, now we're looking at Phantasm. Yeah, so D6 is freaking massive. All right, so Eldar are actually playing the same game as the rest of us now. It's essentially squad tactics for Eldar now, which is really, really good. Eldrad Ulthrand at the start of the battle. All right, so that's just saying that Eldrad Ulthrand, he gives you 9d6 instead of 66, or instead of the 15d6 that he used to. Night Spinner, monofilament web ability. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, if one or more of those attacks made with its Doomweaver scored a hit against an enemy unit, that enemy unit is pinned until the end of your opponent's movement phase. While a unit is pinned, subtract 2 from its move, 2 from advance and charge. No longer can you just not advance. Amazing change. Thank you, Games Workshop. That was a great way to fix the Night Spinner. I freaking love it. Woo! That is epic. Okay. That is pretty amazing. All right, so Eldar, guys, just took a few... Oh, man, there's more. Holy crap, there's more. Oh, I'm actually starting to feel bad for my Eldar players. Okay, once in each of your turns, if this model is on the battlefield... Okay, so the Incarn can now only teleport once in a turn. It's not once per phase anymore. Okay. All right, well, that's a nice little cut to the Incarn as well. That's pretty cool. Only once per turn. Wraithguard War Construct ability. Once per battle round, when an enemy unit targets this unit after this unit has finished making its attacks, this unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase. When doing so, it must only target that enemy unit. All right, good. So it's basically turned its shoot-back ability, the Wraithguard's shoot-back ability, to the same shoot-back ability everyone else has. You can only target the unit that shot you. Good change. I like it. Pretty happy with that. Agents of the Imperium. Nothing matters. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the... Astra Militarum. Astra Militarum. This is going to be the Voice of Command Army rule. Change the first paragraph to, if your army faction is Astra Militarum, officer models with this ability can issue orders. Officer models can issue orders in a command phase and at the end of the phase in which they disembarked from a transport or were set on the battlefield. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. So basically, it's making sure that you don't get into the counts as finishing a move versus whatever, so they can still count their... I think that actually might have already been in there. Let's look at Blood Angels. What is the Blood Angels getting benefit from? So let's look at Blood Angels here. Each time it attempts to start its unit from your army's selected fight, if that unit made a charge move until the end of the phase, add 2 to the strength characteristic and add 1 to the attacks. Now this is interesting, because it was add 1 to the strength and add 1 to the attacks. Adding 2 to the strength characteristic, so just like an assault intercessor is going to be charging at strength 6 now. I wonder how much of a difference that's going to make. I think we might need to see some points changes in addition to that, but for right now, that's actually kind of an interesting little change. Chaos Demons. All right. For the Demonic Pact. That's no big deal. Chaos Space Marines. This is one I'm super interested in. Let me take a look at that. All right. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me see if I can just post this link here. Copy this link. My camera's going to get a little funky for a second. Just bear with me here. I'm going to see if I can hop into the chat and just pop it down. Hold your horses, everybody. Hold your horses, everybody. We'll go to my live. I just got to pull up a second stream here so I can do it for you guys because I love you. I'm just gonna add it here into my. There you go. Check the description. All right, check the description, everybody. Now we're back. Okay, Chaos Space Marines. A unit can only embark within or start the battle embarked in a transport if both of those units share the same keywords from the list above. Cool. I like it. That's great. That's exactly what should happen. So hold on, let me move my camera here so you guys can read with me. All right, so you can no longer have undivided chosen inside of a Nurgle Rhino. I think that's a great change. Perfect. Dark Obscuration Stratagem until the end of the phase. If your unit is Nurgle, okay, so you can no longer lone op 12-inch your Nurgle Rhinos. It has to be 18 inches now, which is a significant nerf. Still actually a pretty useful stratagem, but it's a significant nerf. Now, Profane Zeal. This is the one that I am pretty interested in. Because Profane Zeal I thought was the most broken strat in the game after Phantasm. So target one heretic Chaos Undivided unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the wound. Thank you! So you can no longer fish for explosions or fish for sustained or fish for lethals. Now you get to re-roll the wound roll. Still an amazing stratagem. Who wouldn't want to spend 1 CP for full wound re-rolls? It's still great, but it's no longer the most unreasonably busted thing in the game. Thank you. Accursed Cultist changed the OC of mutant and torment models to 1. Beautiful. They did. So hopefully they did not also increase the cost of Accursed, because if they increase the cost and decrease the OC, that would be I think that'd be too much. As of so far, all these changes are just perfect. And then change your Accursed Hold at the start of your command phase. You can return either 1 torment or 3 destroyed mutants. So they're only regenerating in their command phase, not also in your command phase, which is also a beautiful change. All right, so I love all those changes to CSM. Now for the points cost, we'll take a look at those in a little bit. But bro, I just put it in the description, so there is a link in the description for sure. I just put it in there. It's literally the second thing that's linked in the description right now. All right, so let's look at Death Guard. Death Guard, all that is the same. And they did clarify that enemy units within contagion range will have their characteristics modified. So I guess the reason for clarifying the characteristics modified for the contagion range is to clarify that units like Trajan Valoris or whatever, or the guys who have Grim Demeanor, you can't modify their characteristics. Biologist Putrefier, Explosive Maladies ability. In your shooting phase, you can select 1 model from your army with this ability. Okay, so Death Guard, you can no longer do 4 grenade strats in 1 turn. You can only do 1. You can only do 1. And so I got a guy in chat. He's letting to know everybody that if you are having trouble seeing the link, because I put it in the description for you already, if you're having trouble, just refresh your stream. Just click the refresh button, and it should pop up, no problem, because it is in the description right now. So now for Death Guard, you cannot. It's not 4 grenades in 1 turn. You can only use that ability once per turn, per model per turn. So that's good. Death Watch. Until the end of the phase, bolt weapons. Let me see if they added anything to the bolt weapons. This looks like it's the exact same as it used to be. Yep, no change for Death Watch's weapons. I don't see frag cannons added in there. Okay, so no change for Death Watch from I can tell. Drukhari. This is a big one. Let's see how we're going to fix our Drukhari. All right. Change the effects on empowered units in the shooting and fight phase 2. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. And if it's a melee attack, also improve the AP by 1. That's awesome. Okay, so they're trying to give you an option for actually having real melee Drukhari. I do not know if that is enough. I don't actually know if it's enough, but it is pretty cool. Then we're looking at the Archon from the leader section. Change to, this model can be attached to Incubi, Court of the Archon, and Cabalites. I'm not super clear on what the Archon's actual abilities are, but attaching them to the Incubi might seem interesting. If Felix, if you're looking, buddy, if you're here, maybe type in the chat. Let us know if that's a big deal or not. Gene Stealer Cult looks like exactly the same. Grey Knights. Haloed and Soulfire stratagem is now strategic ploy. I have no idea why that would be useful. Oh. Someone's telling me that it's taking you to an older rules. This one, if I'm looking at my channel, it definitely says January 2024. Clearly says it. If you guys can see my shit. So, no. This is it, man. And then we have Heavy Psy Cannon. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So the Heavy Psy Cannon on the Nemesis and Dread Knight and the Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight has been changed. Their Heavy Psy Cannon goes up to AP 2. It's still Strength 10 and Damage 3. And the Demon Hammer, thank you, is no longer Weapon Skill 4 up. It's Weapon Skill 3 up. Is that going... And the Great Sword went for Weapon Skill 2 up. Now, is that enough to make these units very viable? I think it's pretty sick. I think it's pretty dang cool. That actually does change it. All right. Let's look at Imperial Knights. I'm also very, very fascinated in Imperial Knights. Yeah, all right, so that's the same clarification as previous. Now, Bondsman abilities. In your command phase, for each one that does, select one friendly armature model within 12 inches of the model. You cannot select an armature that's already being affected in the start of a command phase. The Armiger model, does that mean they didn't reverse the Bondsman ability? That's interesting. Interesting. That is very fascinating. Okay, so it does not look like it reverses the Bondsman. Space Marines. Nope, no big change on Space Marines. Space Wolves. Just their normal Saga stuff. And World Eaters. Okay, so the Berserker Glaive seems to have been nerfed for the World Eaters. World Eaters model only add 1 to the attacks and damage characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer. So it's no longer D3. All right, so the Berserker Glaive is still fantastic, but is a little bit reined in. Pretty cool. No, guys, I mean, this is official from the GW website. I don't know why you're saying you think this is fake. Okay. And then change Favorite of Khorne. So World Eaters model, only once per battle do you get to make a new Blessings of Khorne roll. Ew, that is a big nerf. I don't know if I like that so much. And they nerfed the Demon Prince also. So the Demon Prince gives everyone a 5 up invuln save instead of a 4 up. I don't like that at all. That is kind of bananas. Interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, if you look here now, I've got the Munitorum Field Manual here as well. And I don't actually know by heart all of the points changes. Yeah, I know, right? I'm actually really disappointed in that Bondsman ability. So Munitorum Field Manual, version 1.6. I'll post this actually here. Let me go ahead and link you guys to this one as well. So here we go. Save. Okay. So I linked that one for you guys as well. So if you want to refresh your feed, there you go. And then Munitorum Field Manual. I'm only going to go through, I think, Custodes, maybe World Eaters, Deathwatch, and Orcs, because I don't know all the other armies by heart, and I don't want to waste y'all's time, so I'm just going to get to the stuff that I can really talk about. I'll have another video out in about 2 days where I've done a full analysis of this, and I'll break everything down for you. Okay. Oh, we've got a fuel change. So actually, interesting. Looks like I might have a link. Hey, Adam, you said you had a link to the actual points changes? All right, it doesn't matter. So let's just go straight through the ones that I know. Custodes. All right. Alaris Custodians, nice. They went down in points. Oh, look at this. They actually included green in the Munitorum Field Manual, so it shows you what happened to the points. Wow, Terminators went down. Amazing. Custodian Guard went down by 25 points. Huge. Wardens went down by 25 points. Huge. Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle Jetbike. Still not really usable, but went down. And so did the Virtus Praetors. Okay. Custodians are back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, our Terminators went down. Our Guard and our Wardens went down. All the points went down that we needed to. And we have a Fiona Pain against our freaking Dev Wounds. So Custodes are going to be a problem again. Get ready for it. I might be running them in the upcoming TTS tournament that I'm hosting on my server. And if you want to be a member of that, you can look at the link below. Join on my Ko-Fi link. You can join as a member for the Discord where we go through this tactical stuff constantly, all day, every day. We are starting a TTS tournament in 2 days, but you got to be a member to join. It's only at $4 a month. Helps support me in the work that I do, and I appreciate all of your support. No changes to the AdMech, apparently. Pretty cool. Eldari. All right. Ooh, Night Spinner went up to 210 points. And Wraithguard went up again. All right. Cool. Not bad, actually. To be fair, they changed a lot of the core rules for the Eldar, but they did not destroy them in points. I'm actually very happy with that because I was afraid it was going to be almost unplayable. So they didn't do that to it. So not bad. Okay. Let's go on down. Oh, I'm going to switch my face over here again so that you guys can see these points. I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller for you guys. All right. That's Eldar. No changes on Forge World points. Agents of the Imperium, all the same. Astra Militarum. The Mana Corps up to 180 points. This looks like they're trying to say, hey, we don't necessarily like pure indirect armies, which I'm very happy to hear about. No other nerfs. Good. Guard did not really need nerfs, but I am happy to see indirect things become more expensive. Black Templars took a few points nerfs, everybody. All right, so if we're looking at it, Captain Grimaldus, he goes up to 120. The Crusader Blob went up. Looks like it is now going to be 270 for the full squad. And Helbrecht went up to 120. That sounds about right. nothing super severe there, so Black Templar should still totally be able to play, but some of their unit specifics did go up a little bit. I'm a little surprised to see that the Sword Brethren did not go up at all, but it's nice to see some of the other things got a little bit of a nerf. Blood Angels, I don't see any buffs, which is really fascinating. Chaos Demons got a host of changes. Holy. All right, how are we're going to have to walk through these. Let's see. Blood Crushers, Blood Letters, and Blood Master went down. Changecaster and Contorted Epitome down. Daemonettes, Epidemius, Exalted Flamer down. Fiends, Flamers down. Okay, everything goes down except for Nurglings. Nurglings went up by 5 points, and Blue Scribes went up by, I think, looks like 10 points. Everything else essentially went down in points. Thank goodness. They needed a little bit of help. That Great Unclean One's down to 230. That's actually looking pretty attractive to me. Kairos down to 270. Keeper Secrets down to 290. Where's Shalaski? I want to see if she's usable again. Nah, Shalaski stayed at 450. Scarbrand down to 305. Okay. Cool. I like it. So basically, massive points reductions for the demons. They deserved it, guys. Yeah. So Aaron, he's Aaron Marshall in the chat. He wants to say Drukhari got a second detachment rule. Yeah, so they're getting extra AP in melee when they're using their tokens, which is actually a really big deal. I think that's going to be really, really nice and exciting to see what people can do to build Drukhari. I know we've got a few guys in the Discord who are going to be running them in the tournament starting in about 2 days from now. Paul, if you can't download the page, just refresh or just go check Warhammer Community. I'm sure it's up by now on Warhammer Community. Everyone's telling me it is. So Chaos Knights. Abominate, Desecrator, Despoiler, Tyrant, all going down in points. Okay, looks like essentially all of the big knights are going down. I like it. The big knights needed to go down. They were too expensive. The Brigand went up in points. Good. It was too cheap. The Executioner went down in points. Good, because no one was taking it. So I like that. Just a good little points reshuffling. I am very fascinated and excited to see what's going to happen with... Maybe we can actually finally see some big knights. I'm not sure if those points are enough to really make me consider them, but it could be. CSM, oof, that's a big nerf to the cost of Cursed Cultists. I think it was 160 for 16 of them, and now it's 210. And they went to OC1, and they lost their regeneration. Ugh! Sorry, CSM players, a Cursed Cultist just got a lot worse. Chaos Lord went to 95 from 75. That's probably very appropriate, and no issue. You'll still take them. Chosen went from, I believe it was 110 to 130. That's a reasonable nerf. And I think that's fine. I think instead of seeing every army start with 110 and 2x5, maybe you'll just see 1x5 or 2x5 in the army. Still very usable, but not nearly as busted broken as they were. Commune went up a bit. Forge Fiend up to 200. I think at 200 points, the Forge Fiend is at a place where you're probably questioning whether you take two. I think I would have liked to have seen it gone up slightly more, but I think at 200 points, that's close to reasonable. So the Forge Fiend's still a very good model. It's still very usable. 200 points, you're probably questioning whether you take two, though. Obliterators also went up a little bit. That is a lot. 90 points for each Obliterator. Ooh, that is an expensive unit. And Warp Talons went up by 10 points. Okay. Honestly, they did not get slaughtered. I think you're actually going to start seeing some interesting new builds. I think we might finally see Possessed, because Possessed are actually pretty solid. Dark Angels! Okay. Alright, there's only one thing I really want to see. Dark Angel... Deathwing Knights are staying at 235 for 5 models, not the 290 that you guys saw. Okay, so you could ignore all of that nonsense. Because everyone was freaking out that we had a 290-point freaking Deathwing Knight 5-man squad because of the leaks that you had previously seen. But no, 5 models is going to be 235. It's possible they might still exist. Alright, Dark Angels on average just got big points buffs. Deathwing Command Squad went down in points. Terminator Squad went down in points. Black Knights went down in points, which is real good. Because the new Ravenwing detachment might be interesting with significant points cuts. I'm not really a Dark Angels player, but it was not looking good. Okay, cool. That looks all solid to me. Let's look at Death Guard. Death Shroud Terminators went down in points. Fetid Bloat Drone went down. Lord of Virulence went down. That's interesting. Typhus went down. Plague Burst Crawler up to 180. And Plague Marines up to 90. I think that's a 2 points per model increase, if I'm not mistaken. That might be quite a bit. but I believe it's probably pretty fair because Death Guard is actually in a terrifyingly good place right now with the nerfs to CSM and Eldari. So that's just a little kiss. Everything else is looking fine. Your Death Shroud went down. Everything else is very, very viable. Plague Marine's going up a little bit. I'm uncertain how that's going to shake out, but I think it's probably pretty fine. Death Watch, no changes. That's probably fairly reasonable. Drukhari. All right, Dark Eldar. I got a buddy who is in the Discord who is clapping his hands and trying to do backflips, but he's failing because he's not very athletic over all this. Drazar down in points. Grotesque down to 90. I wish it would have been a little bit more, but 90 is at least maybe they're usable. Hellions down to 85. Incubi down to 75. That might be interesting, especially now that you can have the Archon join the Incubi, and they're getting extra AP when they use their pain tokens. Raider going down. Reavers down. Still suck. Succubus downs. Talos is down. And Talos were already fantastic, so that's actually pretty cool to see. Venom is down. Void Raven Bomber goes up. Ugh! Void Raven Bomber was amazing. I actually really liked it, but I guess I'm not angry that I'm not going to have to fight it that much. So that is a lot of points nerfs, or points buffs, I mean. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to change Drukhari. It is interesting now that they're going to get AP and melee with their pain tokens as well, though. That is pretty interesting. So Gribble the Munchkin, he says, and nothing for poor old Admech. Bro, I'm not certain Admech needs anything. If you check out my stream I did on Friday, because I stream competitive Warhammer every Friday where I do teaching, and actually this Saturday we're going to have a special guest, Anthony from Northern Knights Gaming. He's going to be on there, where we teach higher level Warhammer to everyone in a live games for people. But yeah, so last Friday I was streaming with my admin, and we went 70-70 perfect Admech into my orcs, and that was Admech's got some serious play right now, so don't hate on them too much. Gene Stealer cults. Pure Strain Gene Stealers went down in points. That's cool. I would love to see some freaking Gene Stealers in Gene Stealer cults. Not certain if that's enough to make them quite good, but going down in points is reasonable for that unit. Grey Knights, the Librarian goes up to 110. He was 100. But at the same time, guys, don't despair, because your Grandmasters and Nemesis Dread Knights just got way, way better. Way better. You guys have much better, you've got better AP on the big psych hands for them. You're now hitting on 3s with the hammers and 2s with the great swords. So that was a huge increase to the Grey Knights. So you're going to see some variety in Grey Knights now, which I'm really excited to see how people play with that. Imperial Knights, they just have drops basically across the board. I was really hoping they'd get the Bondsman back, but they went with big points drops. I don't know if that's enough. I really, really need them to give Bondsman back. I'm going to check that again here real fast, guys. Just bear with me. I just want to make sure I read that correct, because Bondsman abilities. Yeah, just until the start of your command phase, the Armiger is affected by that Bondsman ability. That sucks. I really wish they would have changed that. Oh well. But at least they got some sweeping points buffs. We'll see if it's enough to bring them back in. I'm not sure if it is. Votan. All right. Votan is a army that I needed to see some nerfs on. And it looks like I didn't get what I wanted, but I got a little bit. So the Sagittar is up to 115. That's good. So we're not going to see huge Sagittar spams anymore. At 115, they're still cheap. And then the Brokir Thunderkin went up, which were not a problem anyway. What the heck, GW? Brokir, I mean, they were super cheap, but at the same time, they only had 18-inch range. No one cared. It was the bikes that were the issue. Einhar Hearthguard went up. Okay, you know what? That might be enough points to make them drop a unit, which is probably about what they needed. So I'm excited about that. Let's see how that does, because that might be enough points where they'll have to drop like a unit of 3 bikes. And if so, then I'm probably pretty happy with it. All right, cool. Necrons, 0 changes. That is a shame. I was really hoping to see the Satan just go up 10 points. But besides that, pretty cool. Okay. Orcs. Battle Wagon, yes! Oh, someone give me a wah. Somebody give me a wah for the Orcs, baby. The Battle Wagon is going at 160. It was at 185. Is the Battle Wagon usable? I'm going to use it this weekend on stream. You guys can tune in to find out. Boomdecker Snazwagon down to 80 points. Still sucks. Hunter Rig down to 150. Still sucks. Kill Rig down to 170. That's a huge points drop. I still don't think I can take it. Killer Cons would drop by 25 points. That might be interesting. I might take a look at that. Booster Blasta, nope. All right, so guys, GW, if you're listening to this, the buggies did not need points drops. The buggies need new rules. The buggies need new rules. The Morkanaut went down. Who the heck's ever going to take a Morkanaut? That's stupid. Knobs went up by 5 points. Totally reasonable. All right, that's totally fair. 105 was a little silly. 110 still makes sense. You're still going to see them. Squighog Boys went up. Ooh, they were 115 to 125. That is actually pretty significant. Trucks went up to 65. Okay, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how this goes. Now that trucks went up a little bit and that battle wagon went down, we're going to see battle wagons, which is pretty freaking exciting for me. So, okay, cool. I'm excited to see how we build this out. If you guys are in the Discord, you know I'm going to be theory crafting this a heck of a lot. Adam Skinner, you dirty, you naughty girl, telling me to remove orcs from the game. Get out of here. I still love you, but now orcs are here to crump, baby. Space Marines, aggressors are up in points. Okay, Assault Intercessors down in points. It's probably good, but I don't really see you using Assault Intercessors anyway. Centurion Devastators went up. That's fascinating for me. I did not expect to see that. Heavy Intercessors down. Good, you're still not going to see them. Inceptors are up by a bunch of points, though. 15 points per 3-man unit. That's a lot. That's a bunch on the Inceptors, actually. We're probably going to see different builds. Inferno Squads went down, you're still not going to see them. Intercessors went down, you're still not going to see them. Outriders went down, you're still not going to see them. So so Space Marines just took nerfs, basically just across the board, because all the buffs they got you doesn't matter. Assault Intercessors, Heavy Intercessors, Normal Intercessors, they all suck anyway, and you're not taking them. So basically they just got more expensive. Redemptor Dreadnought went up by 10 points. Guilliman down. Scouts went up by 10. That's good. Scouts were actually one of the best units in the game. Schoenguard Veteran at 90. They still suck. Whirlwind went up. Yeah, all right, so Space Marines took a big hit, actually. That's a little disappointing to see. Interested to see how people build them out now, but that's kind of a big hit. Space Wolves, I don't see any points changes. Tau, here we go. Crisis went up, because that is just what happens for Tau. Crisis will always go up in points. But your characters went down and your Riptides went down, because we're about to enter the phase that we see in literally every single edition of Warhammer 40,000. You will get to Triptide. There will always be 3 Riptide builds at some point, and here we go. Okay. That's your Tau changes. T-Suns, 0 changes. Probably fair. Tyranids! This is cool. I'm actually thinking about running Tyranids in the TTS tournament that's coming up in about 2 days. Remember, guys, if you're going to be playing, y'all need to make sure that you get your list in by Thursday evening. When I wake up Friday morning, I will close registration. If you're looking to register, you need to go ahead and sign up for a membership for the Discord on my Ko-Fi link, which is down below in the description, and send me a PM on the Discord, and I'll get you your private access code to the BCP tournament. Broodlord down in points. Cool. Death Leaper up in points, fine. Gargoyles up in points, that's probably fair. They were really good. Gene Stealers down in points, also cool. Then we have a Neurolictor up in points. Yeah, that's fair. That thing for 65 was ridiculous. So at 80, that is pretty good. Yes! The Emissary and the Assimilator went down in points. I love it. That is very exciting, because I'm probably going to be running an Assimilation Swarm, which is going to have a bunch of this. Pyrovores went up by 5 points. That won't matter. Screamer Kill at 145. This is cool. Now the question is it usable? Is a 145-point Screamer Killer usable? That is a very significant points drop. I'm really fascinated to see how it goes. I've never thought it had a bad data sheet. As a matter of fact, it has quite a good data sheet. But at 170, it was just ridiculous. At 145, what can we see it do? Toxicrin doesn't matter. Toxicrin can be 5 points and you still won't take it because it's impossible to move across the board. GW just doesn't seem to figure that out. Why can't they just put a rule, be like, hey, their tentacles are just for aesthetics. They don't actually count for the model. That's how you fix the Toxicrin. It's not points, guys. Trigon went from 180 to 170. This is very interesting. Tyrannofex. Okay, down to 190. You do have a big shooty boy again. That thing going up to, what was it, 235 was so ridiculous. So 190 for the Tyrannofex. I think your Tyranid players should be very happy right here. The things that need to be nerfed get nerfed. The things that needed buffs got buffs. So Tyranid players are probably going to be very, very happy. World Eaters. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. World Eaters got hurt, guys. 8-bound and Exalted 8-bound went up in cost. Lord of Skulls went down to 450. Karn went up. Forge Fiend down and Master of Execution's up. All right, so here's I'm gonna share it with you guys right now. So this is what World Eaters guys are gonna pivot to. Are you ready? You're gonna run double Khorne Lord of Skulls with Angron, because Angron's gonna give them reroll hit rolls with their big shooty guns. They're going to get the 6-up Feel No Pain from the Blessings of Corn rolls. And when you have 2 Corn Lotus Skulls, I think you've got like an 87% chance of resurrecting Angron every single turn. That's going to be the pivot if you guys want to see how you're going to still play World Eaters in this new meta, because those 8-bound and Exalted 8-bound going up in points is a pretty big hit to them. So that's what you're going to see, I think. I'm calling it right now. Double Corn Lotus Skulls with Angron is going to be the new meta for World Eaters. And that's it, guys. That's the points changes. I think I might have accidentally skipped a few of the points at the front, so let me just go take a look. We got a few changes to Adepta Sororitas. So Sisters, their Arcoflagellants went up a little bit. Their Exorcist went up. Okay, yeah. Everything's cool. Zephyrum, Repentia, Retributor, Paragon's down. Morvenval up. Super side grade for Sisters. Guys, get ready because Custodes are back into life. Custodes have game again. This is cool. Orcs are looking happy. CSM got knocked down a big peg. Eldar got knocked down a big peg. This is going to be a healthy-ass meta. I think the only thing I'm really disappointed in here is I'm not super pleased with the way they treated Imperial Knights. They needed Bondsman back. But you know what, man? I think we're about to enter the healthiest freaking meta that we've ever had. This is going to be really freaking exciting. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any thoughts on this? If you're disappointed with one big change, go ahead and type it down in the chat. But this all looks pretty dang good. So, yeah, I got no complaints. Even with Death Guard, man. This was all just preemptive. All they did, they gave you Death Shroud Terminators a little bit cheaper. The Plague Marines went up a little bit because they were a little ridiculous. So, dude, man, this was a well done Games Workshop. Well done Games Workshop. That's just freaking awesome. I'm so happy with how all this looks. Grey Knights, you guys got a new unit, actually, effectively. That's pretty darn cool. Man, this was cool. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. This was a pretty cool little update. I think we're going to see some really interesting new builds. In the Happy Crumpin Discord, make sure to get signed up for the BCP event. It is private, so it's only accessible to members. Go ahead and join up. It's $4 a month. It helps to support me bringing content out to you guys and teaching how to do Warhammer more every single day. And we're going to have an awesome day, an awesome tournament. Remember what's going to happen. It's 5 rounds. Every single round, you get to change your list because we're trying to make sure that we get used to the new meta. You can't list Taylor because you're not going to find out who your opponent or the next mission is until after you've submitted your new list. So we are going to start pairings. We're going to give your first matchup on Friday. So when I wake up on Friday, I'm closing registration, and that will be when your first matchup is going to be called. So Eco, no, I have not checked the rules commentary update. I'll probably do that in another stream. But for right now, I just wanted to get this one out to you guys because, well, it's really important that everyone gets this information. So the big changes, we had sweeping points changes. Chaos Space Marine got nerfed. Their stupid rules get nerfed. Eldar's stupid rules get nerfed. Indirect overall just went up in points cost. Tyranids got a really good balance. Custodes are back, baby. Your Imperial Knights, your Chaos Knights got big points buffs. Then we also have Drukhari. Drukhari might make an appearance in the meta now. So this is going to be the healthiest meta that we've probably ever had. I can't wait for it. We have an awesome super chat from my buddy Frox. Buddy, you are freaking rock. He can't wait to see how I update our Custodes boys. Bro, I'm going to have some interesting stuff out for us. I'm undecided whether or not I'm going to run that in the tournament. We'll find out. If you guys have any questions, I'll be in the Discord answering questions, so you guys can pop on over there. Until next time, in about 2 days, maybe I'll have another update where I kind of go through a more organized thought process. I just wanted to get this information out to you guys right now. And tomorrow I'm dropping a video specifically on how to deal with reactive movement stratagems because, hint, there are a ton of them. So thanks all you guys for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. And